second up in the white boat, or second from the top in the white boat. And away he goes. In the middle also Barrios and Asaba, Alvarez and Fernandez in that green boat. But Renata looking extremely strong close to us. There's Kisley and Mihalik. Portuguese are managing to stay with them. No, they're not. It was just the camera angle. But Kisley and Mihalik know they have to get to Renata. I'm sure they know that if Renata gets a sniff of a breakaway, that she's going to take it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So they can't afford not to be with her.
And her teammate has the same mindset. We have seen that at least this year. Shalai Veros, also a very ambitious paddler, can do long distances on her own.
Great work from Sam Rees-Clark and Alex Lane on the left of his shot there to stay with Renata and Chelai, getting a lift to the front for as long as they can. It's Brooks and Peters on the other side. The two South Africans didn't make the cut there. They're further back. Two Spanish crews. There's the first of the South African crews with Mackenzie and Nixon. Just in the back of that group, beautifully well placed. On the outside of the group there, the Australians, Nielsen and Mann, hanging on. But over here, we know.
Over there to the right in the white boat is white boat and white shirt is Kisley and Mihalik. They did a great race yesterday and probably suffer a little bit from that, at least to start with. Now they are moving together. They're both Hungarian crews. I think this is the tactic.
Kisley and Mihalik are struggling to get across in time. They're going to struggle to get across in time to cut off the Belgians from the side, so they could have to settle for something that's second best here, which gives you some idea of how good the crew of Che and Chelai is.
Indeed.
There's the race now, and Kisley and Mihalik didn't make it. It's still Brooks and Peters, Rees-Clark and Lane, and tucked in the back there, I'm pretty sure that, as it was yesterday, is Eva Barrios from Spain, and she is having a superb weekend. So there's your 8-boat group for now, just on the outside, the Australians, about to lose contact with those 8. So it's important that the blue boat of Rees-Clark and Lane stays with an overlap, and they have to paddle forwards at this stage, otherwise it's going to be over for them. They've got to get going fairly quickly, because here we go. Yes. It's 1-2 Hungary, and that break's been made, I think, and there's going to be no looking back from here.
Chelai looking over her shoulder, shouting to Renate, go on, go on, go on now.
It's only the Spanish who are going to bridge the gap, maybe, and it's going to be so tough. Great Britain are still with them. They're still in with a shout. If they could get a 4-boat group, Peters and Brooks not covered it. Kaziskova there also, and the South Africans, Nixon and Mackenzie. Sam Rees-Clark and Alex Lane have got a lot of work to do to get up to the side of Kisley. They're going for it. It's going to be very hard. They're still moving forwards, but they're coming in too soon maybe. Nope, they're going to crack it. And good move from them, gets them comfortable. And guess who's in the back again? It's Barrios and Asaba. And the groups kind of stayed together at the back of that group. Kaziskova, as she was at this stage yesterday in the K1s.
So it wasn't that easy for them to break free at this early stage.
Which will be a relief, I think, to the remaining boats now. I really thought that was it, Stefan, at the top there. I thought, you know what, you just missed it. A little bit of hesitancy around the turn, and I thought those two were away, but no. It's still a 6-boat group, 7 even, with Kaziskova at the back of that group. South Africans full on to keep in touch. Kaziskova off already. Round they go, beautiful shot. Jay doesn't leave any space on her inside, and that's going to be really tough for the blue boat of Great Britain, because the Belgians are going to be forced out, and it's going to be very hard for the rest of the group to match the pace now. There goes Che. She's away and up and running. Kisley follows. And this time it looks like it is permanent.
Wow.
Oh, what has happened to Kisley? Kisley and Mihalik have turned around, and I don't know, did they miss a buoy?
I don't know.
What?
Something happened.
Looks like a rudder problem for Kisley and Mihalik. They're out of the game, and gold is already settled, I think, for Che. No one's going to see her again all day, and that is a sad way to end what was going to be a really exciting race between these two Hungarian crews. That's the picture at the front, and I don't think anyone can close that gap.
No, she's on the run now, Renate and Vörus.
It's such a simple job for her now. She's done it too many times. There's no fear of a 7-lap race for Renate Che. She's up for this, and it's now a race for silver and bronze. We'll try and find out what happened to Kisley and Mihalik, but it looks like boat failure. Maybe we'll get a replay, but I don't think anything dramatic happened on the turn. I think they came out of the turn and then just carried on turning right. Stefan's just left the commentary box to go and find out what's happened, and we will get that information to you as soon as possible. But Renate Che and her partner Chelai are away, clear, and as it stands now, in about 2 hours' time, there's your world champions right there. If only the other boats had the view we've got from the drone and were that close, they could see their way to catching them, but they're nowhere near this close. That is a boat on a mission now.
150 meter now, the gap for them, and it continued to increase. I spoke to Wanda Kisley and Sara Mikhailovic a little bit. It was a rudder wire that failed, broken, just behind the front seat. So it was a very sad crew.
It's sad, and part of that sadness is, genuine sadness. The other half is frustration and a little bit of embarrassment, really, that you haven't actually looked at that before you set off. And you were saying you used to do it all yourself, never let anyone touch your boat. My father used to do it for me. 100%, you'd hand your boat to him to make sure that everything was okay. And they feel slightly foolish at the moment.
Yeah. And they will never ever let that happen again.
Absolutely. So a lesson learned in the harshest way. And look at that gap. So that gap, I can assure you, will only get bigger through the day. Any mistakes, I don't think, here, because there's just no hurry at all. Nice and calm. She'll always keep contact with the boat.
Perfect portage.
It really is a straightforward process now for these two girls. They've done 2 laps out of 7. It's going to be 5 laps on their own. I think they're going to gain around a minute a lap on the other crews.
Yeah. I wonder if they know if their teammates is out of it.
I think they know, because their teammates would be with them, and they know that.
They know something happened.
Yeah.
But
So this is going to be more interesting, seeing who has the portage capability to do some damage in this group. So it's going to be Reese Clark and Lane. They both run very well. They don't paddle together often. In fact, they've just come together because they were both here doing K1s at this event in under 23 and senior respectively. Nice and tidily out. Once they're out, I've got no doubt they will run well. A little bit of a mistake from the Spaniard. We said that Asaba would be the weak link on the portages in the Spanish boat, and she was there. South Africans running well, and Brooks and Peters gradually working their way to the back of the 4. But the British girls, nice and comfortable, stepping in together, a little bit of a lean on the boat, but they're away, and they're away safely. And it's going to be the Belgians who are just off the back of the group, but no dangers. Everyone's in together, and away goes nobody, actually. Nobody really wants the lead here. The Belgians look vulnerable on the portages. South Africans were solid. The Spanish made a small mistake, but came back from it. So it's a good group. I think it's going to be hard to keep this group of 6 together through the portage. We'll probably split, but possibly regroup again the other side. And at the top of your screen, anytime now, you will see the leaders as well. So as Great Britain come into the portage, going long this time, somebody clipped their back, but it's gone well for them. Again, the Spaniards and the Belgians a little slow. Kaziskova also slow, and Reece Clark opting to run down bizarrely the outside of the portage. South Africans running well. Maybe the ground is smoother on that side. It was obviously a decision they made, and it's the second, what has been the second Spanish crew, Alvarez and Fernandez, who are pushing the pace here, and they've driven the Great British crew to the end of the portage, and it's going to be very, very tight there. Kaziskova struggling. Spain, Great Britain and South Africa are the ones who are comfortable. So Kaziskova having to do a bit of work again at the back of that group. Leaders already up to the bridge nearly. To that. So we're looking at a gap now of almost 500 meters. And if we can get an aerial shot of that at some stage, which we will towards the turn, I'm sure, it will give you some idea of the enormity of the task that Romalo faced yesterday after he lost 500 meters. Here go the South Africans. Czechs about to go around the outside. They're going to miss that because the Spaniards are already there. Great Britain have to stay high on the wash to protect that from the Czechs who will be pushed in. Not high enough, so they drop back to the back of Fernandez and Alvarez. Up go Peters and Brooks to the outside. The Spanish will be pushed into the V. Czechs out again, and so it goes round. But Brooks and Peters just don't have the confidence, it seems, to finish the job off when they move up. Seem very wary of almost sprint paddlers, it seems, in a marathon race. They're just not quite sure of where they should, what they should and shouldn't do. There's all sorts of confusion in that group. I think it's Kaziskova not getting out of the way quick enough from the South Africans who are pushed into the V. Round come Great Britain. It's the best thing to do, get either back on the front of the green boat or take the lead. They just decided to take themselves out of trouble and be on that side of the group. Hopefully they won't sit there for too long. The turn coming up. Now this will give you a view of how long 500 metre deficit is as we make our way hopefully to the front of the race. Not there yet. Still not there. Still not there. And you can see that a 500 metre deficit is absolutely huge. So the leader's out of sight already. South Africa's going to try and come around the Spaniards. I don't think that will happen. You don't mess with Eva Barrios. Not this weekend anyway. And Asaba looking mean in the back of that boat. Brooks and Peters, quality crew, but here's your leaders. Not pulled out so much, I don't think, on this lap. I think they've relaxed down a little bit. I think they've settled for their 500 metres. They figure that's enough of a win. Here we are at the bridge. So it's going to be the Czechs in first. Spain and Great Britain best placed. The Belgians here, I think, could lose some ground, especially if they have any mishaps getting out the boat. Up the left of the Great British crew comes the Spaniards. This could be dangerous. British have to cover it. There they go. Beautifully done by Sam Rees-Clark there. They couldn't afford to let the Spaniards take them. The Spaniards very close to the British crew there, but it's going to end well, I think. So as they come, no, they're still tapping away at their tail, the Spanish. Probably a few choice words out there. And it's Brooks and Pete. What is happening here? This does not look good. This doesn't look good for the British. They seem to be all over the place. Something's wrong. Something is wrong. And we are down, I think, to 4 boats. Hopefully the British pit crew are awake to this. It's on screen. 2 through the drinks lane. The Czechs and South Africans going it alone through the main portage. South Africans moving quicker than the Czechs, but the Spanish are up and away. Spain 1 and 2 are up and away. And there's the British crew have stopped in the drinks lane. Now they're away again. And it's going to be a bit of hard work to be done here. I think what probably happened there, the rudder looks very low on that boat. It looks like the rudder was clipped, maybe by the paddles of the Spanish during that little altercation. But the danger now is that that rudder is going to drop out the bottom of the boat. And it could be trouble. It looked very low hanging on the bottom of the boat as we saw them run past us in commentary. And it's 4 boats away. And that's bad news for Great Britain. I thought they had good control in that group. No, they're all over the place. It's done for them. I think when they come in here, we'll find that they haven't got a rudder at all. I think that's dropped out. Here come the leaders. They've been through the drinks lane already. And on they go. Round the bottom turn, lap 5 of 7. Top of your picture, just about to go under the bridge, are your 2 leaders. The gap grows. Kaziskova in now. Spain, the next 2 boats out, and the South Africans 4th out the water this time. There's no stress here, I don't think. Nobody going through the drinks lane. Alvarez and Fernandez seem fairly motivated. They run better than their compatriots. South Africans struggling to come up the inside of the other Spaniards. But the group is not going to split up here. Away go the first of the Spaniards. Everyone else in. Jeez. Barrios yesterday was good into the boat, and there they came down last, got in second, and she is on fire this weekend. Really enjoying Eva Barrios' racing. Just a line going around the boys. That will all come together, I'm pretty sure. Both the Spanish crews looking okay. It's hard to work out the gaps. The stroke rate of the South Africans suggests they're under pressure. But it's all going to fall back. They look behind, attack over.
I think Kosiskova is really eager to get a medal. Here she was fourth yesterday, and with her broken toes and everything, very pleased with the results anyway yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so eager to leave these championships with a medal.
Round the outside goes Mackenzie and Nixon. Working hard just to get a better position on the Portage. Just saves them waiting right to the sand to find out where the others will go. They've now given themselves the option of going long. What they have to hope now, though, is that the Czechs don't decide to go long themselves and leave the South Africans with no room. Right, they are on their final last lap. The lap counter on the top left of the screen has changed to 7 of 7. So just one big lap to go, and then the small lap. So last, bit of a slip from the Spaniards on the drink changeover, but they made it in time. Everyone's out safely. There's no stress beyond staying in front of the group behind now. Very little space being left. Barrios is not overly friendly towards her compatriots getting in there. And away they all go. It's all tidy. Barrios working hard now. Kosiskova a little bit caught for speed. In fact, everyone a little bit caught for speed. Barrios taking them very tight around the turn and could be making a break here. So Barrios has decided she wants silver, and the best way to take it is from now. I don't think that distance is right. I think because they're separated by the turn, it's the distance between them, but what that doesn't account for is that they're obviously going in opposite directions still. So even the technology confused by how far these two are ahead today. Barrios Asaba assured of a silver medal. A little bit of a smile, I think, there from these two. And chat. I reckon that's the smile of two girls who thought there was one more big lap to go until they heard the music, Stefan.
Yeah, maybe so, maybe so. Soon coming in, it's gonna be Renate's 19th gold medal in the World Championships gold medals. It's crazy, and it's a world record. 19 gold medals, 10 silver medals, and only 1 bronze, and that came in 5,000 meters in sprint, actually. Wow. No bronze, no such thing as bronze for her in marathon over the 21-year-long career. Renate Shea.
That is super impressive.
And Sofia Chelai, her 7th partner over the years. Once again, back on throne.
Managing to whip the girls into a frenzy of excitement there as they run through. And away they go. 1,000 meters to go, and I think they've got it, don't you, Stefan? So out get the Czechs. They're first up and away. South Africans, I think, will run better. The Spaniards got a little turn of speed, and the 3 catching boats are just broken, I think. So it is these original 3, and at the moment it looks like South Africa are taking the initiative. The Spaniards are hard though, and they are coming in. They're going to be second into the water, running long. Czechs quite slow into the boat, relatively. The Portuguese are next, then it's the Belgians, but it's South Africa away. South Africa, Czech and Spain. The 3 boats as they have been all the way, and now it's measuring out that last 1,000 meters for the South Africans. I don't think Kosiskova's got the speed to take them on. So it's just down to the Spanish maybe. The Belgians, who would have been the main contenders had they all been together with their turn of speed, are out the back. They're not going to play any part. The winners closing in on the finish funnel now, but the real interest is on the far side of the course. The bronze medal going to South Africa, Spain or Czech Republic. But the Portuguese are closing down on those three. The Portuguese are moving the best of the four. So Renata crosses the line in 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and across she comes. A very simple job for them. That's really only South Africa now who can challenge the Spaniards. They're having a go up the inside. Spaniards holding them off, but only just. It's going to be a coming together, and that will favour the South Africans, I think. Spain having to work really hard now. The first Spaniards, they're safe in second, but everything to play for further up the course. Portuguese are out of it, but it looks like Spain in control still. It's going to come down to a last 50-metre opportunity for the South Africans here. Spain turned the Czechs into the bank slightly, and both those girls are out of the running here. Not Spain, that was Portugal did that, sorry. I'm getting confused, it's too exciting here in commentary. It's going to be Spain 2. That's going to happen in about 30 seconds time, but it's this third bronze medal position that is in debate still. Here come Barrios and Asaba rather. They're safe. They made their move at the beginning of the last long lap. So they're going to cross the line very shortly. The South Africans still are fighting the other Spanish. South Africa coming up, so it's Spain across the line in second. Behind them, second Spanish crew turning up the screws again. They are going to come third. There's nothing the South Africans can do about it. So Spain 2 and 3. It's going to come down to a last 50 metres for Mackenzie and Nixon, but I don't think it can be done. The Spanish are too strong. It's Spain 2, Spain 3. South Africans just miss out on a medal ahead of the Portuguese, who've been so strong over the last couple of laps. Czechs have to settle for 5th or 6th. Great race from Kosiskova and Milova, and the USA next across the line with the Belgians just behind them. Great racing from the Spaniards. Kosiskova broken.
K2 gold medalists, never in any doubt. Zofia and Renata. I'll start with you, Zofia, because you speak the better English and I can't speak Hungarian. But congratulations, that was awesome.
Yeah, it was a very unique introduce to introduce our new K2, and it was a big pleasure to race together with the 19th. She reached her 19th gold medal, and I'm just really happy, and I would like to say thank you for her to choose me to race.